See that boot there? Alright. Don't want to rip the boot. Yeah, I probably won't go any further. The boot's like it's made for just one housing area. See if I can really stretch it. Kind of stretching over the battery. You can see the battery terminal is not one solid piece that goes down. There is sort of like an L shape, upside down. Boot will cover from a little bit more moisture, and besides, we have to get this boot to. It's stretchy though. It's a good thing. It's not stretching where we want it. Alright, so we can't really get the boot in there. The boot's just pretty much in the way now. So what we have to do is just kind of take the boot out. We'll just get rid of it from the bottom. Or we can put the boot and maybe just, we can cut it from here. Use what we can't, just cut it off. Cutting is fun. Alright, so we cut the boot off. I want to make sure mainly, you can see here our battery is very secure. The terminal. It's kind of, you can see that's actually the terminal right there. It also has one for the bottom slot too. But again, if we put the bottom one, then everything's going to be a little bit more bulkier back this way, and we can't. We're actually trying to flex it even further down. So that's why we're going to keep it that way. Oh, one of our confession in there. So much easier to actually this is where the battery is. Okay, so we're gonna route. That was a doozy on the negative one there. So what I'm gonna do is line up my pads again. Okay, we're gonna squeeze it from the very top. Make sure all the pads are flush to the bottom. Alright, so very nice. We got our terminal battery there. And don't worry, we still have insulation because this isn't going to go over like this anyway. So it's not going to be too shabby. Yeah, that boot's just more in the way than anything, huh? Should've just took it all out. There we go, I slide it all out. There we go. And then maybe this will flex a little bit further. Nope. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take out the boot. We got the boot out now from the other end. Just kind of slide out. Should have done that. Maybe I could have saved the boot. Who knows? Okay, now we're going to go and focus on the two positive wires going to the scooter. One's for the relay of the horn, which draws a lot of power. This probably only draws it when it's actually turned on, so it's not too bad. Okay, and then we're going to go and take out the battery terminal with the washer. It's a little sticky, which is good from the silicone grease. I mean the dielectric grease. Okay. Now if this tip goes bad, we can just put a new tip on there and be done with it. The positive tip looks like it's almost going to wear out soon. A couple more usage. I'll probably have to put a new tip. You've seen how he's crimped the chip, it's not that hard. Okay, we'll put a light wire there. Okay, much as I can. Take it with the socket. Alright, there we go. The boot here barely goes on there, but I'm not even sure if you can call it a boot. But a little bit of protection doesn't hurt. Okay, so we got our battery now hooked onto it, so everything's kind of like live, so we want to be really careful. We don't have our key in ignition, so which is cool. Now we're going to go ahead and put we're going to leave our covers off for right now because we're still working on pretty much we're going to go ahead and take out the CDI, and we're going to move that to the right coil wires. So let's go and do that. bring my chair here. My plier. Alright, let's see what we can do with this one here. This one's going to be a little different. See if I can angle the camera where you can see me work on it. There's a resolution level. Oh, it's blocking from that, huh? Okay, I'm going to bring it eventually out from the bottom. There we go. Get a resolution for you. Alright, so what we're going to do is going to break the tie strap. Holding it, we're going to use a splicer to cut it. Alright. Kind of nicely tied everything already. That's okay. Let's say. So what we're going to do is we're going to spice. We're going to spice this wire. And we're going to pretty much tap it to our blue wire, which is supposed to be in. So let's see if I can do that. Try to see if I can grip the camera here while you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to take the blue wire. Let's see how good my soldering is, huh? Well, I'm going to just try to yank and break it. Wow, it's really good. Okay, let's go ahead and cut the heat shrink and see how good of it is. Probably just pull it off. We're going to pull it off from the direct ignition coil, which we got confused and pretty much tied our spark plug. Our pulse stator triggers our spark plug to our direct ignition coil. So, you know what? I got a razor blade. Just gotta be really careful with it though. There we go. Get that spliced open. And let's see what that bad boy's made out of. You can see my soldering. So I was afraid of. Heat shrinks are pretty good. Good thick of insulation on them. There we go. My soldering is going to be revealed in a second. Look how ugly that is. Is that the most hideous soldering work you ever seen or what? Here we go. Let me get a resolution there for you. It looked like a butterfly cocoon about to hatch. Oh man. But it worked. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull this apart. We're going to take our lead here. We're going to pull it apart. That's good soldering though. Alright, there we go. Break off a little bit, chunk at a time. Oh, actually, you know what? I should just leave it on for you because I want to show you why it wasn't firing on. So I'm going to take out the spark plug here. That way you can see it. Now that we haven't ground our wire yet. Let's just go and ground our wire also. Let me take out the spark plug. And what you want to do is you're going to put the spark plug and watch I'm going to show you. And we're going to ground it. But first of all, let's go ahead and remove our, I believe it's an 8mm bolt. We're going to go and remove our spark here. But before we do that, let's go and properly ground our scooter for safety. Protect all our electronic components so we won't have this incident again. Whoa, deep fried wires. It was smoking black. Okay, so we're gonna take this all the way out so we can actually, it's okay, it's not gonna bleed oil because you got the other 3 bolts holding it, but you definitely don't want to have all 3 depending on it by itself for too long. So we're just gonna go ahead and remove it really quickly, tap our ground wire here that we just made for, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it back on. This bolt's about maybe good, probably 1.5 inches. It's not that deep. It's not like it's a cylinder stud or anything. You can see it. It might be quicker now, just twist by hand. Yeah, can feel it better. Yeah, there's no oil. I was going to mention too, before I got cut off the other time. Yeah, the oil just very much filters here for the valve covers, inside the valve covers, the rocker arms and stuff like that. And then also on the cam chain area. But very much is dry where the pistons hits the cylinder head valves. Those are pretty much kept dry. And that's why the air compression was very important when we properly vented it from here. And we still left this open. And let's check out our fuel. I mean, let's see if it's actually still flowing on the top. I doubt it though, but because now there's ventilation. There we go. Still a little bit wet on top, but it's not like, see? Nothing. Just all the way to the very bottom. Which we're gonna find out how much oil that we really have once we wipe this stick clean and stick it back in there. You can see it's, right now it's still covered from the last residue that's just sitting there on top. It's cold, so it's not going anywhere. But again, it's not like flowing, overflowing. In fact, we'll leave it even gapped open and see if actually oil will just want to burst out on its own, okay? We'll leave that gap open. We'll move all our electronic stuff away from it. That's why we put the pizza cardboard here in the bottom to protect it. Okay, so we're gonna go and remove this thread here. There we go. We got it in there. You can see here, screw. Almost just really much in 1 inch. All right, so now we gotta fit that in there. Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit how we want to curve it. This wire is so strong, you can see here it pushes with the battery. All right, so once we get in there, it'll take shape for us. There we go. All right. Now we'll probably have to do much we can by hand, and then the rest actually is not even in the real thread yet. It's just passing through the valve covers. There we go. Twist as much as I can by hand, then we'll get the tool where we can't go any further. But that will be properly grounding our crankcase and perhaps our entire scooter now. And the only ground that we really had on the crankcase wasn't really a ground. It was actually the difference between ground and negative is the fact that negative, it doesn't go to any neutralized grounding area. So we had the Banjing, which is his own wire going back to his own ground. That's not good. We want something related to where the source is, like the negative of the battery going to ground. So this will be our probably our only second ground that we have mounted on the crankcase, and it's a good ground. We assure that already when we made our connection there. All right, so you can see how it looks there. We just gotta now drive it in further with the socket. Okay, put that back in our socket wrench. Righty tighty. There we go. There we go. It's taking form now. I think it's perfect. It's not pulling the battery off its heels or anything like that. So it was enough that we cut half of their bending. All right, now it's getting tight. Want to make sure you don't over torque again. It's aluminum you're dealing with, and if this throws a strip, the valve cover plays an important role. It keeps the compression properly in there. Well, it still has the crank ventilation. It also keeps the oil, by the way. so you don't want oil to drip out where the rocker arms are assembly. Okay, so that's actually they're nice and tight. And now let's go back to where we were here. Okay, I just want to show you again. We're gonna go ahead and get the keys, and I think I have the keys somewhere lying around. If not in my room, yeah, I might have the keys inside. So let me go ahead and get the keys real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I pre-loosened the spark plug here just to make it faster for us. There we go. Let me go ahead and get the socket for the spark plug here. And I'm going to show you why it wasn't sparking. And that's pretty much what you need. You need spark, you need compression, you need gas, fuel, air mixture, all that good stuff. So careful when you're doing this, especially when your battery's live. And by the way, if you ever actually have this open before and you actually start the bike and it turns over the piston and everything, you can feel the compression of the pistons like a whip of compressed air, like every time it goes from the spark plug hole. And I know this is gonna go in, but gotta do it with my one finger here. Okay. Before you put this back in, you want to wipe this clean. You don't want much of your oil residue sitting on here, especially the tip. Okay, so there we go. And we're going to put it somewhere where we can have a proper ground there, like this right here maybe. Let's see if I can lay it on there. You can see if there's any spark, or even just anywhere the bike frame, metal or something like that. You can see if it sparks. Okay. Kind of loop this out here, maybe you can see it better. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do is loop it out here. I'm going to take the keys and I'm going to start the car. I'm just going to start the bike. Here we go. Okay, so it's touching. You can see it's touching the metal with the frame. Okay, and here's my keys. We have good power coming in. Let's go and measure the voltage again, so you can actually see. By the way, don't take the reading accurately from your meter here. It's not always accurate. You always want to get, maybe if you have one of those, there's like little things you could buy to attach to your battery if you wanted to really, you know, be geeked out about it. But more likely, it's pretty much around there. So remember again, we recommend that anything a little bit over 12 will help us crank our scooter more. So this should hold true. Put that one there. There's my battery sitting still at 1348. There. See? Simple. Just a little simple voltmeter right there. Turn it back to off. This is the volts. It registers AC or DC with the source here. You can push. Pretty easy voltmeter. Not too, see, then you push that for DC, push that for AC. Select it and then just push here. Nice little craftsman tool. Maybe 10 bucks. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna go ahead and put our ignition key in there. And I'm gonna see there's no spark. And then on the next video, what I'm gonna show you is we're gonna replace that correct pickup coil wire, the blue wire, to the other one. Okay, you can see it's full. See our power battery still registering below 12. Just like barely touching the line at the end of the battery. Even though it's at that, we already know it registered at 13, even with all the load hooked onto it. Okay, so this is pretty much where we're going to turn in our relay here. We're going to turn on the kill switch, hold the brake lever, press it. It's not going to turn over because there's no spark, but I just want to show you this. So see. Oh, by the way, we figured out, we think that the GY headlights doesn't turn on because we probably have to turn on the main running headlight so it saves power. So you can see here, the main front headlights should turn on. Let's see here. Huh. The high beam turned on, but let me see if the main headlight turns on. So maybe it's not enough power for the engine to crank. Yeah, the GY still hasn't turned on, but we'll figure that one out later. That's just something with the wire harness before we close it. It's interesting. So there we go. We just have that one turn on only as a high beam burst. So we'll need to probably figure that one out later. Okay, so going back to where we were, I'm gonna try to see if I can go ahead and swamp this out for you. And then while I swamp it out, we're gonna go ahead and connect it back to everything else. So we're not gonna try crank it over because we know we don't have any spark. So there's no point of playing around with that. Also remind me again, for good safety, take off the exhaust cover and screw back onto the oil, because else is gonna might be spursing out. So it's still good there. See that? We have enough oil here just to test out the engine, but before we do that, we're gonna tap it to the right measurements. So let me go ahead and get started on doing this rework. I'm gonna just clamp it temporarily so you can see a test of how to actually make it. So here we go. So we got the wires here that we need to cut open. So I'm gonna do is just cut it real fast. Our ignition key's off, our kill switch is off. Okay. Wow, this is one hideous soldering job, but it held it tight though. That's the purpose of soldering. We're not doing for art. Okay, then we're gonna splice this wire, but we're gonna do it a little bit quicker now. Okay, let me go ahead and, where's my little splicer tool here? I think I had it somewhere. There we go. We're gonna go and splice our tool here. We're gonna splice our tool, and we're gonna find out where the splicer tool is. Here, there it is. Okay. I'm gonna splice this wire enough here. There we go. Okay, we're gonna join these two together where it should have been belong. The blue wire and my black and white wire here for the pickup coil. These two should have been belonged together a long time ago. And that would have been the end of a 4-day journey of trying to get spark. So you can see here, see if I can even tilt it better. Try to get angle. Okay, it's cutting there. Okay, we're gonna go and put back our ignition key, and we're gonna fire this bad boy up. There we go. We're just gonna find out for spark first, okay? Turn back on the kill switch. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3. See that spark? Sorry, you couldn't see the resolution, but we have spark now. Want it? I'm gonna do it again for you. Gonna try see if I can get the resolution. Okay, here we go. See that? See that? That's spark. That's the one we want. So now we're gonna go and put that back in our scooter, and let's see if this thing turns over. Go ahead and put it there. That way you can see what I'm doing. Turn off the kill switch. Turn off our signal light. Making that weird noise. Just take off our ignition key, or just leave it there. Just turn off to the off position. Okay. Yeah. Eventually, when you take it off, you can feel the air pressure coming from where the hose is right there. So now we have spark from our CDI now, and we're gonna tie that neatly. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this spark plug back in, and then we're gonna go ahead and fire it up. That way you can see it. Okay. So. Here we go. Whew. All right, so we're gonna go in. You can see here is Neranium one. It's gonna wipe it down a little bit. Okay, gonna do it by hand. If you can fit it in there anyway. Kind of get a feel for it. You might be able to reach it, you might not, depending how long your fingers are. Okay. All right, so let me get the socket for it. Seems like I can't reach it with my fingers. I like the socket here. It's almost like it has a rubber on the bottom there that kind of helps hold it. You don't want to do it with the tool yet because you really want to get a feel that you're into the groove, because you don't want to angle it wrong and then you strip out the cylinder head spark plug screw, and that would be definitely a no good sign here. Okay. There it goes, turning sort of. Okay, you want to make sure it's angled in a way where it's going in smoothly without some resistance there. There we go. Then you can crank it a little bit further in. All right, here we go. Whoa. So much moisture there. Oh, still turning, huh? Oh, okay, there we go. And then what you can do is chase it back with the socket afterwards, after you feel it's righty-tighty. Okay. Okay, still you don't want to put too much pressure on it, just want enough. Okay, what I'm going to do is kind of show you now when it cranks over. We're going to put our spark plug boot back in. This one we're going to move a little bit back more, shove it in back a little bit, because I feel like it's perhaps pushing the spark plug back off of it, because it has too much slack here. So I'm probably going to force it in a little bit more. Okay, but first of all, let's go ahead and test this. You can feel it? See that? You want to make sure you hear that click click noise. Okay, so we're going to turn back our key. Okay, we're going to go and turn back our kill switch. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I know we have spark now. There we go. Okay, we can hear the gas. Oh, remind me again. Gotta close this up. All right. All right, so now it's a matter of cranking the engine over. It has high compression. Because it's a 2.5 millimeter stroker with an 8 millimeter scope. It might take a little bit of time, but it'll get it once it turns over. But the sparks is there now. There we go. Before the battery runs low anyway. Okay, everything's on there. Our carburetor and choke. Make sure our spark plug has good contact. Shove it in a little bit more. See that? It's starting. Yeah. We got spark now, so now we'll have to just keep on trying to kickstart it perhaps manually. There you go. So it still won't turn over. It could be a bad stator also, so we're going to troubleshoot all the other ones, and the power should transfer from here. So I just want to show you basic troubleshooting here now. Let me go ahead and get this open. We'll take a voltmeter, and we want to make sure that